post-game press conference here with the University of Arizona. Please raise your hand, wait for a mic to get to you before asking a question. Joining us, head coach Chip Hale and Garen Caulfield. Any questions? Start with David.
Chip, just how do you analyze the pitching as a whole over the starting pitching as a whole in these two games that you guys weren't able to really get the quality starts we had seen from both Cam and Clark?
Right. Yeah, it wasn't the same crisp stuff that we'd seen. And Cam had the arsenal to really battle these guys well. He just didn't have his good cutter today. And you saw when Kyler came in, Haney, he was able to really use his cutter, and same with Pluta, to neutralize him. He just didn't have it today, and that happens. I mean, that's the problem with, you pitch a lot of innings, and we've asked a lot of those three guys, and sometimes you're not going to have it. And today was one of them, and their guy had really good stuff and mixed well, and we just couldn't get anything going.
Michael, you're in the front.
Question for both of you: how would you summarize this season?
I'm going to look back at this season as a major success, not only for the guys in the clubhouse, but for Chip and just the university as a whole. Like we were doubted all year, and to make it as far as we did, like we can walk away from Hi Corbett today saying that this year is successful. We'd like it to end different, and our goal is obviously to win a national championship here every year, but we can't hang our heads because like I said, we were doubted. We finished ninth in the pack, and our boys rallied.
Yeah, I completely, it probably couldn't be said better. It's hard, obviously, to ask that question right now, Michael, because we just coming off a really tough loss to a good team. But these guys have been unbelievable, and the culture change with the pitching, the culture change with the bench. Even in the ninth inning today, guys screaming, yelling for guys to get a hit, and I was so happy for Emilio to get a hit after the tough hand fracture, getting back in there. That kind of summarizes this ball club. They're just never going to die, and I'm really proud of them.
Ryan?
Yeah, Coach. In particular, what was their? Was it the off-speed stuff that was kind of throwing off your guys?
Well, he's had a fantastic year. He's their legitimate number 2 pitcher behind a first round pitcher, and I circle good at bats, and Garen had a single against him, but we only had 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 circles, and 3 of those were walks. So he obviously was spinning the ball really well. I think he used a big breaking ball, he used a tighter breaking ball, and they used some changeups to some lefties, but just did a good job. And I think when your team gets up and we've been in that same situation where they kept adding on runs, and we were sitting out in the outfield, playing defense for a while, it starts to wear on you.
Corner over here.
This one's for Chip. So as a player in your senior season, you lost in the Tempe Regional.
Mm-hmm.
Any similarities between the feeling then and now as a coach?
Wow, that's going way back. I would say this, that we'd won the national championship in '86, and I don't even know if the '87 we battled our tail off. We were really young. We had a lot of young kids in that team, including JT Snow, Alan Zinner. Those guys learned a lot, but I don't know if we would have made that regional if we hadn't been the national champion the year before. We weren't. We had some glaring holes on that team, but it was a battling team. I feel like this team, if we could have gotten off to a better start last night, because we were built for the 3-game series. We really were. And if we could have won that first one, I think it would have, especially with our crowd support, it was incredible what Tucson did for us. It would have been different. So no, not a whole lot of similarities. No, I think more of the 85 team my sophomore year.
And does losing as a player in your senior year,
Yeah.
your career at Arizona coming to an end, does that help you relate to the seniors whose career is now coming to an end?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it's different in baseball, college baseball, Arizona, because we're on a semester system. So there's, we're out of school, we're done. So we're already kind of starting that, life after baseball. And at that time, I didn't know if I was going to sign or get drafted or anything. And I was already looking for interviews with different companies. So yeah, it helps me understand where they're at.
Go David and then Brian.
You know, what would your timeline be in terms of a decision on what's next for you?
I don't know. I mean, being a fifth-year junior, I've had kind of a crazy college career, and I love this university, and I was just focused on the game today. But I mean, if I do come back for another year, that'd be awesome. I love it here.
Well, Garrett, I was gonna ask you a little bit about that, but just in general, you've been here for the 3 years under Chip. All 3 years have made the regional. This is the longest stretch that the program has had since the 50s and 60s of doing that. Where do you see the state of the program when you look at the guys who are coming back or expected to come back and coming in, and just overall, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought very highly of the development that our coaches instill into our young guys, and we brought in a really good group this year, and that's hats off to Chip, and the whole coaching staff. Trip has done a good job bringing the right guys in, not just any guys, the right ones. And I'm super happy for all the young guys that contributed this year. I mean, there were contributions from guys that we really had no thought that would contribute, and like, it's hard to think about it right now, but in their futures and the future of this program, that's going to be huge down the road in more regionals.
For Chip, obviously the regional's not over yet, but what does this weekend so far tell you about sort of the parity in the college game right now, that 4 teams can come in and any 4 of them on any given day can compete and win, and it doesn't matter if they're a 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Oh, it's glaring to me how good everybody is in college baseball. And we talked about the state of our program and how young we were with the bats this year. With freshmen and sophomores, and some juniors in there. But you look at Grand Canyon. We played them 4 times this year. They beat us 3. They're a really good club, and they do a great job up there, and they're supposedly a mid-major. So yeah, it's the great thing about college sports in general. We see it in the NCAA basketball tournament, right? We see big upsets, and it's fun for those teams. It's not fun for us, but yeah, it's a lot of talent. There's a lot of baseball talent. And I would just stress how excited I am, and excited I was last night to look up and see somebody sitting in the corner of the third base bleachers, and to see the support that the city of Tucson, because again, school's out, and that's the old Pueblo coming out and supporting baseball. So I think I really want to stress that, and the thankfulness we have, and for our great fans that we have for the university.
Back corner, and then Michael here in the front.
Garen, this is for you. What was going through your head after that final out was made and you realized the season was over?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of just took a step back, and I don't know. I just looked around, like, just all the memories I've had here, and just how much this program means to me. And I'm glad we had our last game here, but it didn't end the way we wanted it to. But I'm just super thankful.
Two questions for Chip. The first one is, you've obviously had great regular season success this year, but in the NCAA tournament, I think you're 2-6. You've gone 0-2 each of the last 2 years. Do you think you might take a different approach in any?
I'm going to
way to the
read.
NCAA
What I'm going to
tournament?
do is I'm going to read your account, and I'm sure in the next month or so I will have some tips for next year. But yeah, I actually thought about that as the game was getting worse and worse today. As a head coach, that's my job, and we have to find a way. We did it, and we did pretty well in Coral Gables. We did okay. Got to the championship game. We were not good in Fayetteville, and we were not good here. So we have to figure out a better way to do it. And if it's the way I'm preparing them, then I'll have to check myself. But I'll talk to some older guys who've been doing this for a lot longer than me at the college level, and figure some better things out. But you're right. I think we need to do some things different.
Yeah, and the second question, you kind of touched on this a little bit. A lot of underclassmen
Yeah.
in the lineup and in the bullpen. How do you feel about next year and the years to come?
Excited. I'm excited for, obviously Garen has a chance to come back. We're hoping he gets a chance to play at the next level. It's time for him to go. I mean, it is, but if he wants to come back and play, we're all for it. I mean, we talk about Grand Canyon and some of the other schools we played this year. Old wins, in college baseball. It really does. Veterans win. But we're going to have some veterans that are really young next year, and I'm really happy about our class coming in too. We got some studs coming in too. So.
Our last question over there.
This one's for Chip. When you went to go take Walty out of the game, it looked like you took an extra moment to talk to him. What did you say to him? What has he meant? For
Yeah, I just thanked him for everything he's done, and the infielders all, and of course Adonis was out there, the catcher. They all told him, "Babe, we would not be here without you, and thanks for gutting it out today." And I just gave him a big hug. I mean, these guys, and I asked them before the game, let's just go out there for 2.5, 3 hours and just everything you got, give it to me. Give it to this club, give it to this university today and see what we can do. It didn't work out, but they did the best they could.
All right, that's our time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.